Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Unbreakable-You. I'm your coach, Olga Benyaminov, and today I'm here to help you forgive yourself when they disappear. Their silence is not your worth. Before we begin, I want to tell you something. This space that I've created, Unbreakable-You, is a safe space. You don't have to be strong here. You don't have to be healed. And you really don't have to understand everything. I just want you to be present and let these words sink in. Because today I want to talk about forgiveness. Not the kind of forgiveness that excuses someone else's behavior, but actually the kind of forgiveness that frees you. Because there is a pain in being left without words. One of the most painful experience in human connection is not always rejection. It's actually disappearance. Being ghosted leaves no ending. It leaves no explanation. And most of all, it leaves no closure. And the human mind doesn't like unfinished stories. So we turn inward and we try to write the ending ourselves. We tell things like, only if I would have been calmer, or if I hadn't said what I said, or even if I was less emotional. This is where self-blame quietly enters. So why do we blame ourselves? We blame ourselves because it gives us the illusion of control. Because if it was your fault, then maybe you can actually prevent it next time. But that belief comes from a very expensive cost. It teaches you to shrink. We don't blame ourselves because we are weak. We blame ourselves because we are trying to feel safe. But ghosting actually says something else. Let's name it with compassion. Ghosting is not emotional maturity. Ghosting is not honesty. Ghosting is not kind. Ghosting is avoidance. It is discomfort. It's vulnerability that you're not comfortable enough to express. It is the inability to just sit in an uncomfortable conversation. When someone disappears instead of communicating, that behavior reflects their capacity, not your value. That behavior reflects their inability to communicate, their inability to express, their inability to accept the misunderstandings or the miscommunication and to deal with it. And someone's inability to show up does not diminish your worth to be met. And this is where forgiveness of yourself comes. We need to forgive ourselves for all the questions that we ask in the dark. We need to forgive ourselves for rereading all those messages, for waiting, for hoping, for checking our phone one more time. Because you were not desperate. You were simply human. You were attached to a potential. You were attached to a connection. And it certainly was an attachment to something that felt very real to you. And many women were taught early on that being expressive, emotional, or even being deeply feeling make them too much. So when someone leaves you without an explanation, that old wound opens up. And you tell yourself, maybe I am too much. But if someone walks away because you are too much, let them find someone who is too little for them. You were never meant to compress your soul to fit into someone else's emotional limits. Depth intimidates those who live on the surface. So forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness also means forgiving yourself for the way that you have abandoned yourself, for not speaking up, for dimming your light, and for minimizing your needs. You were not weak. You were trying to be loved. You don't shrink because your lack of confidence. You shrink because you learned that love was conditional. And here's what changes everything. You stop asking, why wasn't I enough? And start asking, why did I settle for less than I deserve? You don't need closure from someone who couldn't communicate. You need alignment with yourself. Place your hands on your heart and repeat after me. I forgive myself for internalizing someone's silence. I forgive myself for believing I had to earn the love by shrinking myself. I forgive myself for staying where I was not met. And I forgive myself fully and completely. Because sometimes someone leaving is not a loss. It's a redirection. It might hurt right now. You may not feel it. But it clears space. It reveals the truth about that person. And it teaches you what you no longer tolerate. Not everyone who leaves is a loss. Some are actually lessons. One day, you will look back and realize that that silence that once shattered you became the moment that you choose yourself. You will love again. But not from fear, not from proving your worth. You will love again from wholeness. You will meet people who communicate instead of ghosting, who stay even when it's not as easy, and who choose you without confusion. And you will no longer question your worth, because you will already claim it. You are not too much. You are not the problem. And someone walking away without an explanation defines them, not you. You are certainly worthy of love. You are worthy of presence. You deserve honesty. And you are worthy of consistency. And the most important love that you will ever receive is the one you give yourself. You deserve love, especially from your own self. And before you shrink, remember, you are meant for more. Thank you for tuning in, and if you need support, feel free to reach out.